Peter, along with all those living and expense claims that are at issue here, the Crown also says Duffy subcontracted out $65,000 worth of work to a friend. So the Crown says he could have a so-called reserve pool of money for all those expenses the Senate would never approve.
Take, for instance, this, a receipt for an 11 by 14 Barbara Bush photo enlargement. Duffy later mentioned sending it to Bush in his diary, but there were other photos framed and mounted and sent to friends and family, all of it, the Crown says. Part of why Duffy used his friend and former colleague Gerald Donoghue, seen here on the Fifth Estate, and his company to do the work. Sonia McClough, the Senate Human Resources Director, seen here on the left, who helped issue those contracts, testified today. Senators have more than $150,000 to use for their office staff and budget. Whose responsibility is it to ensure that whatever service was agreed to was actually provided, asked Crown Prosecutor Jason Neubauer. The senator, like the senator, is signing the invoice at the end, McClough answered. Evidence presented in court suggested Duffy was determined Donoghue get the contracts, describing his work as consulting and editorial services. At one point, Duffy was told by the Senate he didn't have enough money in his budget left to pay Donoghue the $20,000 he wanted, so Duffy canceled another contract to free up the cash. And later, Duffy increased Donoghue's payment even more because he hadn't spent his whole budget yet. But the Crown alleges Duffy was actually using his contract to pay for things that would never have been approved by the Senate. The Crown asked the Senate Human Resources Officer, would you have approved the Senate paying for makeup? No. How about personal training, gifts for a staff member, or even all of those enlarged photos? Again and again, McClough said no.
Duffy's lawyer, Donald Bain, will have a chance to cross-examine the witness tomorrow, and the friend at the heart of these allegations, Gerald Donoghue, will have a chance to testify soon.